Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to preach to myself. I got to leave y'all out because y'all ain't going with me. I'm going to preach to myself. When you talk about moving from labor to favor, one word from God. Now, I want you to understand what's the deal with Abraham. When God interrupts Abraham's life, he's already an idolater. He's already a worshiper. It's just that he was worshiping the wrong God. He was already laboring. He was already working, and he was doing it consistently, faithfully, and fervently. And when God looked at that, he said, I see something that I can use. I can use his consistency. I can use his faithfulness. I can use his fervency. And what I'm going to do is interrupt him and redirect that worship towards me. And through him, I will be able to affect every other person that will believe. So he moved from labor to favor. Yeah. So when you look at that, you have to look at the New Testament example. Abraham moved from labor to favor. In other words, Abraham was the only one of his kind to receive righteousness. Oh God, before he was ever released in the earth. He received righteousness before the cross was ever carried to Golgotha. The Bible says it was imputed unto him because of his faith. Also, unpredictable faith caused God to give Abraham what was to come in the future. Oh, my God, tell somebody there's some future stuff that my faith is causing to come into my present. He was able by faith, look at this, to bring that which was futuristic into his presence and enjoy it at that time before it ever came to pass. Noah was another one who had unpredictable faith. Oh my God, he was able to bring that which was futuristic into his present and build a boat. Something he'd never seen, to receive something that had never happened. God will do the thing that's never been seen, the thing that's never happened, and he'll meet you at your lowest point to raise your level of expectation. Wow. We talk about moving from labor to favor. We see a very powerful story in Matthew 25 where he talks about the talents and how the household came. Remember the story? And it said based on their several ability, he distributed money to them. Now, he knew their capacity. He knew their ability because he created them. He knew what each one was capable of. Just like God knew that Abraham, if he could turn his attention to him, would continue to worship because he had the opportunity to watch him worship idol gods. So he knew his habit. He knew his pattern. So he knew the habit and the pattern of the servants that he gave the talents to. So he said he divided them according to their several ability or to their capacity or their ability to handle what he was giving unto them. So it says to one he gave 5, to another he gave 2, and then to one he gave 1. Now look at what happened. They went and they took the talent and they went to labor. So the first point that I want you to get out of that is that God gives you what you have the capacity to reproduce. Oh, God. So you're frustrated if you're trying to reproduce something that you don't have the capacity for. You've got to have the capacity to be reproductive in that area for it to become a reality in your life. So don't try to look in anybody else's lane and borrow from them their ability or what they have a capacity to do. You must search in your own self and know your own capability, your own ability, because that's what God's dealing with in your life. Now watch this. Not only did he do it based on their capacity, but they each went out to labor. All 3 of them labored. The one with the 5 talents labored, and he was able to reproduce 5 more talents. Why didn't he make 6? Why didn't he make 7? Why didn't he make 8? He started out with the greatest amount. But why couldn't he bring a return of 8? You ever looked at that? But it says he labored based on his capacity. And he was able to duplicate. God, look at this. What God had released to him. All 3 labored. But they got different results. Watch. The man with 2 he labored. He went out and traded. He went out and labored. He worked. That's what trade is. They'll tell you what they did, but he labored. I want you to get that in your mind. He labored. And he was able to duplicate what God had given him. So he started out with 2. And it says when the day of reckoning and accountability came, he brought the 2 that was given him, plus the 2 he had duplicated based off of what he had received. Why didn't he make 4? Why didn't he make 5 or 6? He had 2 to start with. I'm going somewhere. The one with the 1 also labored, but he didn't labor in trade. He labored by digging. And have you ever met people? They can't move forward in God for digging in your life. They're so busy digging in your mess. They're digging in what's going on with you. They're so busy digging in what God's doing in your field and what he's doing in your garden that they don't have time to work on their garden. So see, he labored, but not to the right result. He labored. He did labor, but he did his labor to bury what God had given him. Oh, I'm going somewhere with this. God began to show me we're moving from labor to favor. Now, of course, I'm asking you because I asked God. Why wasn't it? Never before have I asked him that question. I never even wanted to know. I just always accepted that the one gained 5 and the one gained 2 and the one buried the one they had. But when I said, why couldn't he produce more? And he says, you can only produce what you can see. Oh my God, because if it's seeable, it becomes believable. So they knew starting out, he knew if God gave me 5, if he entrusted me with this, then this is what I am able to at least do this.